So our timing worked out surprisingly well because we both came back home, I think like within a year of each other. Yes. Yeah. So for me personally, it was more so the family and my hometown that brought me back. And then the business was just like an added bonus. You know, I knew that I had a job to come home to, and I knew that my family was here and that the peanut store was always an option for us. So that is really why I came back. And then after having my son, you know, I of course wanted to be near you and near our family and raise our kids as we were raised in the family business and then having our family around us.
Yeah, I think very similar path for me as well, just maybe a year later. Once Mari and I found out that we were pregnant, we wanted to be close to family. So we moved back about 2 months before our daughter was born, Vivian.
Yes.
And yeah, I think always having the option that the store was there to supplement, you know, being a stay-at-home mom was something that we had decided I wanted to do, but you know, that I could supplement some income being at the store, help out the family, be around for all the major holidays. I mean, that was super important to us as well, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it, what was it like growing up around the store and then ultimately leaving to both go to different states? Like, what was that kind of process like?
You know, the store is like a second home for good or for bad. So, you know, there have been times growing up where the store has been kind of a thorn in my side where, you know, it's taken our moms away from us, or holidays always have looked very different. But at some points, we haven't known any better. That's just what our family has done. But it's also afforded us a lot of bonus things as well. In the reversal, having our moms be at, you know, all of our sporting events or extracurriculars and things like that. And always, you know, walking in the store, there's always somebody, family and then family friends to greet you. You know, that you can't put a price tag on. And it was difficult to leave in some regards, but also I think necessary for growth and to know what I wanted coming home, because the store, yes, is always there, but I think it just kind of solidifies maybe that path a little bit more once you get away. So yeah, it was definitely, when I was away, missed, because I grew up here, we grew up here, and then I actually stayed and went to Hope College. So it was kind of like the 13th semester of school. And then after that, that's when I decided to kind of get away. But then coming home has felt so good just to be back and to be surrounded by family is, you know, so important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, really similar for me. I mean, growing up in the store was, like you said, great. And then it also has its cons, just like anything. You know, our moms worked, but they were with us also. So we got to see some really strong women raising us and then also working and contributing to the business. Also, our grandma did that before them. So they watched their mom do that, which is something cool I think that the kids get to see us do now, is juggle being a mom and a woman and, you know, being part of the family business. We saw that all of our life, and I think that's a really cool thing that we've brought with us. For me, getting away was a really good experience. I mean, I just took what I learned growing up in the store and brought that into the corporate world. After college, I actually started a business, as you know, dress code. And then I moved to Georgia. So I had that business for about 4 years and then moved. And all of the business experience that I have, primarily growing up in the store, I mean, I was able to take that and be, you know, I always tell people in my interviews, like, we're natural leaders because we have always been in the store and we've always had, you know, outside friends and family, well, outside friends and some extended family work for us. And people just naturally look to us for leadership and for just all different sets of skills that I didn't even really know that I had until I went out into the real world. And I was able to take all of that and be successful and appreciate everything that I have gathered, all along that we just necessarily didn't know through that hands-on experience and watching everybody before us and what hard workers they are. Also from Grandpa, I just learned a lot. He worked hard, and Grandma worked hard at the store with him and then at home. So it's just, what I've really taken from it is so much hard work from everybody, and it's really served me well, knowing that nothing really comes easy. And that's what I tell my kids. You have to work hard for the things that you want. And I'm really grateful that we were able to see that firsthand and live that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Holland Peanut Store has such a rich history going back to starting out as a fruit wagon. What are some of the things that you guys value most about the history behind this place?
For me, it goes back to hard work. We have watched our family work for as long as I can remember. And, not to not give credit to our fathers, because they worked extremely hard in their professions also, but being hands-on in the business and seeing it grow and change and continue to improve and continue to be recognized has really taught me about the hard work aspect, like we talked about.
Yeah, I think a couple words that come to mind are resiliency, perseverance, hard work. Our family has faced quite a bit of adversity from the beginning to even today. And so to watch, our family continue to knit ourselves together and to show up for each other, but also our professional selves to show up in our business when it's needed to. There's just nothing like it. I think, it's rare what we have that, what happens within the four walls of the store can sometimes be a bit jumbled, but, we understand that family is first, and it's been that way from the beginning. So, yeah.
Definitely.
So how have you seen the city of Holland, in particular 8th Street, grow in your lives? And kind of on that note, if you can kind of lead into, 8th Street's such a great place for families and tourists to walk through, but we've got Kilwins, we've got Cherry Republic. What do you guys do to help set, or what does the family do, what do you guys do to set Holland Peanut Store apart?
First thing that comes to mind is customer service, and that's gone way back as well. That kind of has always set us apart. The attention to detail our family gives to individually wrapped gifts, to saying hello and greeting every single person that comes in the store. And even if somebody is just looking and leaving, we say, have a nice day. We just really appreciate the foot traffic, the people being interested, coming in, and it even goes to having many people astounded that we still count back change, that our cash register doesn't just read what change to give back, that we figure that out and do that ourselves and take the time to give you your change back. And it all kind of goes back to the golden rule and how treating other people how you would like to be treated. And I think our family does that so well, that anyone who enters the store, whether they're purchasing something for 10 cents or for a big corporate gift for who knows what amount of money, we treat everybody the same. So I think that really sets us apart as a downtown Holland business. Yeah,
I agree. I know that we appreciate the stores downtown and how much downtown has grown. Even from when we were little, there's a lot of change, and we definitely welcome that change, because the foot traffic, the more people downtown, the better, the more families downtown, the better, and the restaurants are great. I have similar opinion. You know, I think that the care that we provide others really shines through. You know, I think that we are more than a candy store. We're more than you know, a freshly roasted nut store. We truly care about the community and the families that we serve, and the, you know, the loyal customers that have been with us for decades. We share in their trials and their tribulations and their, you know, events that are important to their families, you know, high school graduations and marriages. I mean, we have a piece of, you know, our customers' lives that we share with them, and then also in reverse. You know, there's customers that come in that I'm able to talk to, you know, our children about or give updates, and it's really a special thing to have that heart and that care inside of our store, and you can feel it when you walk in.
So entering into this phase of your lives and careers, tell us a little bit about, or talk to each other about 2020 a little bit. That was probably a pain to navigate.
Yeah, 2020 was like for everybody, you know, nothing that we had ever experienced. So on top of, you know, wanting to keep our families safe and wanting to keep each other safe and ourselves safe, we had to run a business. And that involved changing every single day, trying to figure out how to serve the community, how to reach out to our loyal customers and let them know, hey, we're open. But keeping it safe and complying with all of the rules and regulations. I mean, it was definitely a challenge, but you know, as you know, we felt that love and the commitment and the heart just kind of really wrapping around each other and supporting the business. And you know, we tried to give all of the customers exactly what they wanted. We also had, you know, a significant loss of our grandma in 2020. So that was a really hard time for our family. You know, we had experienced loss before, and we experienced loss during or right before the pandemic. So it was a challenge, to say the least. And then we couldn't gather as we normally would, and we couldn't, you know, really talk about grandma because her funeral was right before the pandemic happened. So luckily we were able to have her beautiful funeral, but we had to mourn her, and we had to run the business, and we had to keep apart for so long. And we had to keep our kids apart, which was really challenging. So just like every individual and every business, I mean, we faced a lot of challenges.
Yeah. I think to add to that too is our family really, you know, doing what our family does, stepping up for one another during that time. I think we need to highlight is that everyone kind of played their own roles within it. So, you know, you and Thomas were, you know, like in the store on the front lines, and we had to like really pare down our staff, and you kept everyone in the store safe while also trying to comply with rules and regulations, and but also still trying to run a business. And I kind of tried to help out in the social media and trying to get communication out there. And then part of it was, you know, keeping our grandfather safe. And so Paula really stepped up there and, you know, took care of Grandpa and kind of isolated herself in those regards. And, you know, our moms book work and taking care of themselves and phone calls and ordering and still doing all that stuff behind the scenes. You know, everyone plays their own role within the whole system, but it was, you know, divide and conquer really. And, you know, it was all hands on deck, like I've never seen it before.
Right. I remember Sammy and I, we talked a lot about like what are the next steps? Like, what are we going to do? Like, remember, our phone was ringing off the hook. Like, we would hang up the telephone and it would be ringing because people wanted to support us. People wanted their candy still. They were at home. And we could barely keep up. And I called you and I was like, you know, what are we going to do? Like, should people email their orders, or like, what are we going to do? Because naturally we don't have a website quite yet. And so just talking through all of that and like trying to figure out literally each day, like how we were going to face this new challenge, And then you being on the social media side and the email side of it, you were like, I don't think we can take all of these emails. Like everything's gonna get lost in translation. So I mean, I totally agree with you. We all worked so hard together and everybody did their part and we were able to create some kind of organized chaos.
Yeah, but what a rare time for our family. I mean, we're always together.
Yes.
We're always together, and to have to figure out what to do while being apart was just a whole new challenge for us. I mean, we did it and we're doing it, and
Yes, for sure.
we're figuring it out, but it's still, a constant revolving door of things. But, luckily we've been able to gather in some regards safely and move forward. But that was just a challenge in itself to like not be able to like see each other and hug each other and yeah.
So true. Hopefully that's well in the past and moving forward, and we can move forward. Yeah.
The store kind of has like a timeless charm to it. Has it changed in your lifetimes? Did it ever look different from when you guys were little? Oh, let's wait for that clap, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, all good. Do you want me to re-ask? We were just talking about, has the look of the peanut store changed in your lives? Or has it, is it just this timeless thing?
I would say the look of the store has changed in subtle ways. Things that we may notice a little bit more than somebody just walking in our store every day. Like we've got new floors, at least 10 years ago. There's some behind the scenes work with like a new air conditioner and new pick and mix bins and stuff like that. But a lot of it stayed the same. The same color of the walls, the flags on the walls, the old cases that are original to the peanut store. Those kind of things have all stayed the same. Our air roasted, our peanut roaster, our old kettles making chocolate. Yeah, I would say most things have stayed the same in most regards.
Sure. Yeah. I think that, like Sammy said, we've changed things behind the scenes, but not as much as like, we always talk about the color of the walls because in high school and such, I was, for lack of a better word, embarrassed because it was old fashioned. It was what it always had been. But now it's part of the charm and it's part of why I love it so much. When I lived away and I would come back, for visits and stuff, and I would walk in and I would see the color and I would say, oh, like it just felt like home. It felt like, our parents' homes, our grandma's home. Yeah, we do a pretty good job at the peanut store with, we don't fix it unless it's broken.
Don't fix what's not broken.
Yes.
Yeah. If it works, it works.
Yeah, and a lot of course, behind the scenes things, the new air conditioner just recently, and things to update, like safety and regulations. Like there was 3 or 4 new sinks that we put in, and a lot of things that people may not notice, but the general charm of the store is definitely how I remember it as a kid.
Definitely.
How's it sound, Ben? Is it?
Sounds good. I'll just pick on you for a second and just be mindful of
Touching. Okay. Okay.
So, for you guys, what's the smell that takes you right back to the candy store? Like, what is it that sticks out?
I would definitely say when Uncle Tom, or prior to that, my grandfather has been roasting in the store. So all of the nuts we get in raw and they're freshly roasted there. But it's definitely a distinct kind of like fryer smell that a lot of people really, really love, and it's yummy to them. And it's not that we don't like it, or I don't like it, but it is a distinct
Yes,
smell.
it lingers on your clothes.
Yes, it
and
does,
you go
yes.
home and sometimes you throw that right in the laundry hamper and you're like, that's gonna smell like the peanut store for a little while, and
Definitely.
sometimes you don't realize it until like you're out of it. Like,
Yes.
what? Oh, it's me. That's
So true.
But I mean, there could be worse things that we could smell like.
absolutely.
But
Right.
it definitely, yes, has a distinct smell, and when it ramps up around the holidays, I mean, that triggers all sorts of family memories, for me, and
Absolutely.
yeah, especially on Sundays when we would all gather, from basically the week before Thanksgiving all the way till after Christmas, where, every Sunday, even though our store is closed, we're down there, and Thomas usually, or my grandfather, would get there a little early and start roasting so that we could use the nuts within orders and all the other things. And so,
Yeah.
and then there we would be, kind of like Santa's elves working on things.
Definitely.
So I think that brings up some of those Sundays, long Sundays, too.
Yeah, I agree.
I heard someone say that you guys were once the only place open Sunday, and now it's the flip. You guys are one of the only places closed on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It is. And that was really a family decision that my grandparents came up with. Well, our grandparents came up with because Grandpa works so much, and Grandma really wanted a day with family and at home, and a day for the kids to see Grandpa. And to me, it's a great tradition that I can definitely see sticking around for a while.
Yeah, definitely. I think as we get busier, I think we'll always kind of throw out there, should we be open on Sundays? But it's just such not due to anything else, but it's such a sacred day for our family to just really not have to worry about the store much, if whatsoever. And so I think that's just really important for our family to know that and just let us be. And that's a lot of times where we'll wait to celebrate, birthdays and other events, is we wait till Sunday because that's when we're closed and when our family can gather. So that's just a really special, important day for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Tell me a little bit about working with your high school friends when you guys were in high school. Was that a good thing? Was that a bad thing?
Like I said before, I think, the store has a lot of pros and some cons, and not that I felt like I was deprived at all growing up from being with my friends because I had to work at the store or anything. I mean, I had well-rounded summers and extracurriculars and such, but it was a pain sometimes to be to tell your friends, no, I can't do that. I've got to, I'll help my family out. I have to work. And, that was always a part of us, But when our friends started becoming of age and you could say, hey, Mom, I've got so-and-so, what do you think? And then they started working. It's kind of fun because your friends could be with you. And what's special about that, too, is that, your friends really get to know more than just that surface part of you. They get to know your whole family. And so more than friends, they show up to, our barbecues and, our sometimes a holiday if, something else is going on for them. They're here with us. They become family too. And so, it really showed itself in those moments when at Grandma's funeral last February, when, so many of those people showed up for our family and for us.
Definitely.
And, they learn a more well-rounded part of you. And so not only was it fun, but it creates this deeper relationship through time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people that work at the store, we have relationships with pretty much forever. We watch them move on to other things, or we watch them graduate high school and go off to college. And when it's our friends, we can stay even more connected, and they're just a part of our family. It's a really cool thing. And then they get to know our family really well, and then that becomes a really great thing too, because we have a lot of fun, and our family works hard but plays hard too. So I think it's fun for them to see that other side, and to be teased by our uncle, and to be loved by our aunt and our mom. Yeah, it's just a really cool experience that a lot of people don't necessarily have or don't understand until they go through that.
Ricky, do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I think this is great.
Kat, Ben, does anything come to mind? Is there anything that you two would like to add to this section that I haven't prompted?
Did you want to talk about?
Your relationship growing up when you were in the store. I don't know what your age difference is between the two of you, but who were you to each other when you were younger?
That's a good one. So growing up, we had the luxury of being really close because our moms are so close. We spent a lot of time, like with with our grandma, and all together. So we've always been, I would say, very close. I consider you a sister to me. Even though we grew up in different homes, I cherish our relationship, and I'm just so thankful for it. And then I think it's just even strengthened more since we have kids now, and we share in that, and we have lived away. So I feel like I personally really appreciate the relationship that we have even more from being away and then coming back and having such a rich history in our family. I mean, that's nothing that can be really found in others. We definitely share a special bond.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the conversations that have come about because of doing things like this, special projects, and having children, and sharing so much like sameness, likeness, wondering about our futures and what the store means for us. I mean, all of that has, I think, forged an even stronger bond than before. And I guess likewise, cousins, but sisters.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the store to your significant others and your children? How do they interpret the store?
Well, for me, it's, you're, okay. I think the saying goes that you marry me, you marry into my family, and then you marry into the store. So the store has always been around. It's been a big part of my life, trying to make decisions about what the future may look like with a young family. So there's been a lot of conversations, through Mari and my whole relationship, but especially as of late when we are doing like this, and it really gets things rolling about, what does that future look like? If we are next generation, and what does that look like for our family? And so, he's always been on board. He's always known, but it doesn't come without some headaches for, him. And he had the luxury of having leisure holidays, and having his own traditions. And when you marry into our family, every holiday, it revolves around the store. And so it's been, a slight growing pain, I would say, even though, he was always aware of it, that, I basically will live down here from, Thanksgiving to Christmas. And the summers, at nights when I can help out, that's where I am. And so it does take away some family time, but luckily he's so on board that he comes down and he helps. And our kids are down there. And so, yeah, I think supportive.
Yeah.
But it definitely doesn't come without some, maybe I wish things were a different way, and that we could, but I've never known anything different. The store is our life through these many special holidays that come up, and, you kind of have to acclimate that way for us, which, we have, and we have fun, and we make it work, so.
Definitely. Yeah, I think the people that are in our lives are very supportive of the store because they see that it is part of our life. it's who we are. It's part of, what we've become. I contribute a lot to the store for the woman that I am today. So I don't think much, of anything other than support, but just like anything else, any other job, it can be time consuming. Running a business is extremely challenging. So it presents itself, as a challenge to personal life sometimes. Yeah. And our kids, they love it. And it's just what they know. So it's really sweet to watch them and how they act and how they're just so happy to go into the store and see the working members of the family. And when we're closed and there's an opportunity to go down and do work behind the scenes, it's just so special to me to have them there with us.
Okay, I think we can kill the cameras for this segment.